What's up everybody, welcome to Money Management channel. My name is Andrei and today I'm gonna be doing an update on MMTLP and Finra Saga.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up.
And guys, for today's video I have basically just two news, but both of them literally blow your mind, and I have to admit that for now I can assure you that this news is a pure bombshell in our case. First of all, we have new motions for subpoenas in MMTLP case that was filed and that are still filing by Georgios Palikaras. On top of that, guys, in Scott Roth's litigation process, we have a pure evidence that Schwab made false and misleading statements, and based on these statements, judges made his decision. And it is a pure evidence that Schwab lied in its statements, and Scott pretty much proves that Schwab exposed itself with these statements. And before we dive deep into all of this, guys, I have to admit that just recently I started to actively manage my Patreon account, and some of MMTLP community members wrote me in private in DMs, is it worth your attention to pay quite substantial amounts of up to $150 for this access? And guys, let me explain you for everyone in this video. First of all, guys, take a look right here. This is my Patreon account, this is my Discord group, and one of my community members, literally just basically less than an hour ago, wrote to this. He upgraded his tier from Discord access to Gold tier, and here is his explanation. He wrote, "Hello Andrei, I upgraded to Gold tier because I have learned so much in just 3 weeks, and it is absolute worth it. I really enhanced my skills, and it's a pleasure to have you as my mentor who checks my setups, my accounts, and gives so much input." And I responded to him, "Thank you very much. It is only the beginning. I have many ideas about how my Gold members can benefit even more." And guys, for now I have only 4 members. 3 of them are in Gold tier, and you can see that I have just 7 empty spots in this tier. And let me show you some details. In my Patreon account, in my Discord group, I made a lot of I give to my patrons a lot of additional information. I explained different patterns, how these patterns work. I add my analysis on different assets. Take a look right here. Just recently, wait a second, just a couple of days ago, I made an additional video for my Discord members, for my Gold tier, with this ticker symbol. Teledoc, Porsche, PayPal, Amazon, and here you can see another set of ticker symbols: coins, SON, PLTR, MSTR, Tesla, and Bitcoin. And guys, on top of that, I explain on real-world examples different patterns and how you can benefit these patterns, how you can trade it. On top of that, guys, I explain. Wait a second. I explain and I show the results, how this pattern works, and it is literally proof my concept. So that is why, guys, if you want to be a part of this community, feel free to do it. Gold tier has an additional perks by one-on-one weekly trading Zoom call with me, and on top of that I made a custom trading plans for my students, and that is why, guys, it is literally extremely valuable offer. So, and let's get back to our main news. Here you can see the post that was written by John Xeri, and first of all, let me show you this one. On MMTLP Resources, you can find this. Huge news, motion for subpoenas in MMTLP. George Palikaras announced on X that the MMAT bankruptcy case has led to motions for 9 subpoenas for documents, trading records, and more for MMTLP. Hello, Discovery. And he added the screenshot of the first page of this document, and he also added a couple of tweets from George Palikaras himself. And let me first of all quote this news from John Xeri. She also added she basically mentioned about the same news and she added this. Christina Lavata, Chapter 7 trustee, by and through her undersigned counsel, intends to serve a subpoena to produce documents on the custodian records for Citadel Securities LLC, record for Anson Funds USA. Christina Lavata, Chapter 7 trustee for the estate of metamaterials, by and through her undersigned counsel, respectfully applies to this court for an ex parte orders requiring the custodian of records of Citadel Securities to appear as set forth in subpoena to be issued pursuant to the Federal Rule of Bankruptcy Procedure 9016 at a time, place and date to be mutually agreed upon by the parties, or if no such agreement is reached, upon no less than 14 calendar days, written notice by the trustee for examination regarding the debtor assets, liabilities and financial condition. More to come. And guys, definitely it is very important step, because you know that our main efforts were destroyed because of the so-called immunity of authorities. And FINRA, if I remember it correct, destroyed several lawsuits from MMTLP community back in the days. And broker-dealers by themselves don't have this immunity. That is why, guys, through the bankruptcy of MMAT, we can find out a lot of important information in MMTLP case. And let me quote you just a couple of tweets that were written by George Palikros himself. Milestone day, more to come. Enjoy this moment. Thank you MMAT and MMTLP family for your patience and unwavering support through this journey. Special thanks to our diligent trustee, Ms. Lavata, and hard-working legal teams. It takes a village. And he also wrote this in response to a tweet of Kikip, and Kikip wrote, subpoena to produce documents, MMTLP and MMAT. Will there be others? What tickers are involved? And George answered, yes, this is one of 9. Keep looking for more as they are being made public. And this is the first subpoena for Anson Funds, one of 9, as you can see right here. And on top of that, guys, take a look at this statement in response to, basically, let me quote you first of all his tweet. Who will settle first? Idea. First to settle gets the cheaper deal. My money is on TradeStation. You? Important. Time range from September 21st, 2020, pre-merger, through August 7, 2024. Post-merger, post-NBH spin-out, and all the way to Chapter 7 under all related QSIPs. And this means, guys, pretty much all of you as an MMTLP shareholder, NextBridge shareholder, MMAT shareholder, or even OG TRCH shareholder are eligible for this process. And Simon Ellison asked him, George, can I ask if this is related to MMTLP or does it only concern MMAT? And George clearly stated both plus more pre-merger. And definitely it is a very important step, guys, because with this document, with these subpoenas, as you can see, just 6 hours ago he added, all subpoenas have officially been served. The clerk had the honor of stamping the subpoenas before they were sent out. Hello, Amy. And yes, guys, I think it is a huge step towards the resolution. And just yesterday I showed you that George Palikros is working hard in order to prepare this type of literally bombshells. But take a look right here. Roman Soups wrote this, and it is quite interesting statement, but I don't think that it might change a lot in our case. He wrote this. Fact checked. False information below. It is pretty clear Palikros either misunderstands or misstates the facts of what happened in the court today. Let's take a deeper dive and thread what he got wrong. And he thinks, Roman Soups thinks that this subpoena is not out, and he proves his opinion. But guys, take a look right here. Wait a second, it is the post of Junk Savvy somewhere. Here it is. John Burda reposted the tweet from Keycap again, and Keycap wrote, here is the document from Pacer, and he added the link to the Dropbox with these documents. And guys, Pacer is the system that reflects only the officially filed documents, and that is why I think it is not a misleading information that Roman Subs think. It is just a procedural, I would say procedural, not an issue, but procedural fact that the subpoenas by itself should have one additional step to be filed. But it means with this statement of George, with this document that was filed with Pacer, that was already reflected in Pacer, we can clearly say that all these subpoenas will be filed. And let me show you quite interesting news from Scott Trott's side. Just recently he added, basically I wrote this tweet for you just yesterday. He filed the jury trial demand, and let me show you his update on this case. So Scott wrote, does yours truly finally get a ruling keeping him out of arbitration with Schwab? Because the first TD Ameritrade client agreement was unconscionable, because it covered events before Trott signed it, and because the Schwab conversion client agreement went unsigned by Trott and was only opted in by simply doing nothing. We will find out. The battle continues. And guys, this is another bombshell, literally bombshell, because with these statements from Scott, potentially Schwab gave a misleading information to the court, and Schwab thought that Scott Trott filed this agreement, but definitely he did not. And let me show you some details from the document itself. Here is the motion for relief from judgment under Federal Rule Civil Procedure 60B. Introduction. Plaintiff Scott Trott respectfully moves his honorable court for relief from its judgment compelling arbitration. Pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 60B, the court's order rests on a critical error. It found that Trott signed Charles Schwab brokerage agreement when, in fact, he merely failed to opt out following Schwab's acquisition of TD Ameritrade, a mistake contradicted by Schwab's own evidence. And let me quote you further. Plaintiff points out the unconscionable language of being bound by the arbitration terms for events that predated the arbitration agreement being signed. Following the acquisition, Schwab imposed a new brokerage agreement asserting Trott opt-in by not only affirmatively rejecting it after notification, likely via mail, email or portal. Trott never signed this Schwab agreement. His inaction or continued account use was deemed assent under a negative option framework. In its order compelling arbitration, the court ruled that Trott signed both agreements, a finding at odds with Schwab's evidence that Trott's Schwab assent derived solely from failing to opt out. Trott did not. Trott only signed the first TD Ameritrade agreement. On top of that, let me quote you this. Compounding this, Schwab has deleted Trott's email correspondence, leaving no record of how notice of the new terms was provided, its conspicuity, or whether Trott received or read it. Based on this erroneous premise, the court entered judgment compelling arbitration, necessitating this motion. Legal argument. Relief from judgment is justified under FRCP 60B1 for mistake 60B6 for extraordinary circumstances, as the order misapplies contract law and federal precedent across 4 grounds. 1. Lack of mutual assent to Schwab's agreement undermined by the court's error and unprovable notice. 2. The TD Ameritrade agreements unenforceable retroactively. 3. Unconscionability of both agreements' terms, and 4. Court's failure to conduct required judicial review, each mandates vacating the judgment. So guys, I think Trott has, I would say, quite good cards in his hands, and definitely this might also be quite important step, because if Schwab made this false statement, this means the most recent judge's decision should be cancelled. And this means, guys, Trott is still fighting hard in order to help MMTLP community. On top of that, guys, let me show you quite interesting statements from Scott Trott's side as well. Southern Oracle wrote this: everyone gets a letter, both sides. You all effing crazy. My opinion, God forbid I don't put this. And what is she talking about? Here is the response of Scott himself. You people are amateurs, try and catch up. 1. I have a cease and desist letter from Andrew Yagani for calling him Drew Flutterance and Drew Pestilence and for reporting his solicitation of a cybercrime against me and my pals in October to the FBI IC3. It wasn't signed and it matches the bizarre text messages I've gotten from that curious clown. 2. I got a cease and desist from Wes and no Christian in December. In that letter he said he was going to sue me in Vermont in US District Court. 3. I got sued by Wes in February for defamation for calling him a fraud in Texas in a state court, meaning the first letter was pure harassment. 4. Wes first sued me for $250,000, then dropped it to $50,000 saying it was a typo, and never offered proof of damages. And then after telling the court he lost business because of me, was hired by McCabe at NextBridge Hydrocarbons about a week later. NextBridge sent me the now commonplace litigation hold letter that is making the rounds. So hold your horse, Missy, you have some legal catching up to do. And guys, as you can see, Scott, because of his actions, has quite, I would say, active legal life. And on top of that, guys, in response to Busy Brand's recent tweet that I covered yesterday, he wrote this: "Wait a minute, you mean a company that makes defamatory statements against its investors will win in court? Like when McCabe called me compromised for asking for company records, and that Scott Roth was a dark force because Scott Roth called out McCabe and Jamie Garcia, Matt Albers, Julie Jane Capella for being in league with shielding the fraud perpetrated against 65,000 investors. You actually think McCabe will bring lawsuits against me and others when that forces all of his books, emails and business associations wide open? If he does it, will be the most work he's done at NBH in the last few years. It appears the only work he's done is to thank online frauds who attack NBH critics. Yeah, we'll sit tight knowing you get into the batters box along with Albers and Jay. Should be a good scene. So, and here is the answer of Busy Brands. Wait a second, I will show you this in details. You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward. If you are scrubbed, no problem, we've preserved them for you. And Scott responded to him: "Thanks, Busy Brand. You admit you do McCabe's bidding, and so does Jolie J. That makes things easier. And you know real Greg McCabe, and you threatened quite a few people. Not a good look for you and your pals, especially when the multiple subpoenas that Burda and others responded to from the SEC are going to be obtained in other cases, going after McCabe, Burda, NBH, and John Doe's 1 through 10, etc., etc. Here's some educational info for you. Fraud by omission under the SEC is not letting people know when you pump a security that you actually work for someone with a stake in the outcome. 10b-5-0, day long. Ask Notorinthy too about that in doubt. You never disclosed officially, not DJ, that you both work and coordinate with Wes Christian and Greg McCabe. Now you have multiple posts thumping your chests, indicating it beyond any reasonable doubt. Yeah, far for. How's that Pulte nomination going so far? You think you and Curtis putting it out all over that he was going to help MMTLP with the Freddie McFunny May. Once in office is not a red flag warning to US senators from both parties. Beyond him scrubbing 25,000 ex-posts in December that were largely pumps of his fave meme stocks that eventually created backholders. Oh yeah, Pulte scrubbing 25,000 ex-posts is okay in your book because he is a pump dump king, but others who do so are obviously attempting to cover their tracks. You are not just a hypocrite and a fraud, you are a bully who doxed woman and pump and dump scammer. Kurt is coming. One more thing, you jaggy social media site for teenagers is a little different. Why do you have multiple Bitcoin payment system displayed for access? Because Bitcoin is largely untraceable. Do you still own it? So guys, again, another fight in between some of our community members is still on the table, and definitely with these recent updates, we have to just be an observers in this fight. And guys, the main deals are happening from other side of the community. We have first of all documents that were filed by George Polygoras in regards to the MMAT bankruptcy, and the second one part of the Scott Rhodes litigation is this one, that Schwab lied in their official statements in court. And guys, let me tell you my personal story. I have a wife and 2 children aged 11 and 15, as well as a small dog. After 30 years of living in Russia near the Baikal Lake, we decided to move. Now we reside in Serbia. Although I don't own any MMTLP shares, I invest a lot of time creating daily MMTLP videos. I have been doing this every day without days off and holidays for more than 1.5 years. Now I wish to buy back this time from my family, from my children. We've agreed that I will ask the MMTLP community to support me, and I will give all the money to the children. Therefore, if you believe that I am providing useful content for you and wish to support me, you can join my Patreon account. For $5 a month, I will add your name to my list of supporters if you wish. Thank you in advance. The link you can find in the description below. So, I think that's all information that I want to provide you. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, and see you guys and girls next time. Bye!
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gone live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap. Only God wants you.